Hello and welcome to Talking Game. And on Sunday is the visit of Southampton to the London Stadium as West Ham United try and get rid of their crappy form as they've lost 4 of their last 5 league games and are coming under pressure, which did not help by Dimitri Payet having to get him out of jail against Accrington Stanley in the 96th minute with a standard free kick. This show, as well as a preview, we've got competition winners for the farewell to Bowler in Upton Park, booked by Lee Clayton. That will be announced at the end of the show. Gonzo has also got very important travel information for those attending the game on Sunday, so do make sure you don't skip the video, or if you want, just skip to the end and watch it at the end. But do stick around for the competition winners and the travel information. Also, Hammer's Chat will have their boats as per usual before the game from 12 to 4 and after game 6 to 8. So if you want your tickets, come on to the forum at hammerschat.com. The links are below. Just click the link and let us know how much tickets you want, etc. And we look forward to see you there. But let's get stuck into this. Charlie, what's your thoughts on Southampton?
I think out of all the teams in the Premier League that have been sort of in and around the Premier League since we both got promoted that season, I would say they're the only team who I have been more impressed by than ourselves. I think there's teams like City who have done brilliantly, obviously Chelsea have done brilliantly, Arsenal, blah blah blah, but them, maybe Leicester's probably the obvious exception, but they have been consistently fantastic since they came back into the Premier League, and on a level that even more than we have. I think this season has been a real outlier for them, and I think is actually their biggest test. They've had you could say luck with their last couple of managers. Obviously they've had a lot of research and they obviously know what the hell they're doing with it. But to get consistent results like that have been amazing. But they're a decent side with a lot of decent players.
Gonzo, what's your thoughts on Southampton? We'll touch on a couple of the main players in a minute, but what's your overall thoughts?
Well, this season, I thought they would really, really struggle, and they've looked a little bit better. I hadn't really heard of the manager. I was impressed with the signing of Redmond. It was only really I was watching Liverpool the other day, and it became evident just quite how many players Liverpool had taken from Southampton. And you can't sort of, well, you'd think you wouldn't be able to lose that many players over such a short period of time, and good players as well, and still sort of function. They finished above us last season, of course. So I wasn't expecting them to finish in the same position in 6th. I think they'll be okay. I think they're doing okay. They seem to be a well-run club, and they can seem to lose players and replace a manager and sort of carry on regardless.
Charlie, do you fear it could be a script from something written by Mike Myers as Austin Powers rocks up in front of David Sullivan on Sunday?
He's got added incentive to nail it, but right now with the way we're playing defensively, I'm scared of any striker rocking up at any point against us. But obviously, he's going to have added incentive. Yeah.
He scored in his last 3 games as well, Charlie. He is on form. He's finally getting a run of games, getting over his injuries. Big man for Southampton, do you think, Charlie?
One of them. He's a very good player. He's capable he's basically a really good, well-rounded striker. He can finish, he can head, he's powerful, he's relatively fast, he's decent at basically everything. He's someone who we have to be aware of, but they have quite a few players who can pull something out of the bag, not just him.
Gonzo, you touched on your man earlier. You wanted him in the summer, actually, Nathan Redmond. The new manager has likened his traits and characteristics, not his ability before someone says it, to Thierry Henry, and he is trying to adapt Nathan Redmond into that kind of striker role. Would his trickery and pace terrify you if he was leading the line on Sunday?
Yeah, I think he's a good player. I'm glad you brought it up. I definitely want him. Not only did I want him, I thought because our owners have been owners at Birmingham, which where he came from, I thought he might have been quite high on the list. And I think obviously we've paid the loan fee for Gurkan Tora, but I think it could possibly go up to 12 or 13, which I think is roughly what Redmond cost. So when they were being banded around, they were a similar amount of money, and I thought, go and get this guy. He looks good. I also think you're right about the pace. I think there's probably one thing that's really lacking from West Ham is unless Antonio is on top form, we do lack pace in the team, and it would have been a really good acquisition. Yeah, I rate him highly. He won't be an all-time Premier League great like Thierry Henry, but a fine Premier League player, and I think he'll play for England as well.
I know someone who does enjoy the Southampton game, and he's told me that while they haven't got the best results this season, they have been playing really good football. He's been really impressed with them. They just haven't been scoring. However, the last couple of games, they've started to click. They've started to find the net. Charlie Austin started finding the net. Jay Rodriguez scored as well. So they're coming into form. They're finding the net, and they're playing good football. And they're coming up against us, who... Well, we'll get on to us in a second, but before we do that, middle of the show means the man in the middle, and it's the man I hate that's in the middle on Sunday, John Moss. Oh, it makes me cringe every time I hear him. We had him a lot last season. I'll run through the games. We had him 5 times. We drew 2-2 away to Leicester, red card. We beat Blackburn away 5-1 when Czechia got sent off, red card, obviously. We beat Aston Villa 2-0 at home, red card for Villa. We beat Chelsea 2-1 at home, red card for Chelsea. We lost 4-3 at home to Bournemouth, red card for West Ham. In fact, in our last 6 games with John Moss in the middle, he has produced a red card. Southampton, on the other hand, had him 4 times, and they won all 4 games with John Moss last season. They beat Tottenham 2-1 away from home. They beat Swansea 1-0 away from home, and they beat Arsenal 4-0 at home, that thumping victory at the start of the season. And they also beat Norwich 3-0 at home, and they also had a couple of red cards with John Moss in charge as well. So if you're a betting man, maybe look for the red card on this one. Gonzo, before we talk about West Ham, can West Ham win? Well, we've got 2 people that have won. Would you like to tell us who the competition winners are?
Yes, indeedy. If you remember, this was for our books. We had 2 books, which was the Farewell to Upton Park. It was by Lee Clayton. Excellent, brilliant books. Go back and watch the video. We had 2 competitions. One of them was under the video. I asked for comments and a sort of, a sentence or 2 that reminded you of Upton Park. So the winner of that competition and book number 1 is Mr. Driscoll. So Mr. Driscoll, you need to contact us on the forum, ideally, please. I'll look and see if I've got your email. If not, then please do contact us via the forum. The second winner, and we have him here, he is actually from the forum. He's from Hammer's Chat, and that one we asked for a picture. It was your favorite picture taken by yourself, and that was one by Hammer65, who I'll actually put it up here now, who's posted this fantastic picture, which I thought was really creative, where he's actually got the picture taken, the selfie, and the picture of someone taking a selfie. It's a lovely picture. The kids and Mark Noble. So they are our 2 competition winners.
Fantastic. Well done to them, and thank you very much to the publishers of the book for our free books. But do keep your eyes on Hammer's Chat. We've got some massive giveaways coming up. There's a huge one coming up. It'll be roughly when Hammer's Chat becomes 2 years old in November. We'll be releasing it, and it'll be an early Christmas present for someone. But in terms of pound notes, it's the biggest value we've ever given away. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Keep your eyes out. Charlie, Masuaku went off injured against Atkinson Stanley on the stretcher. What are we doing in defence on Sunday?
I have no idea.
What do you want to see? What do you want to see?
I want to see Reed and Ogbonna. I want to see Arbeloa at left back. I want to see Nordwhite at right back. I think that's the best way to go. I think that's defensively the strongest way to go. I think it's a shame that someone like Hendry's obviously gone out on loan, because this could have been his chance. I don't think Slav would have given it to him regardless, but I think this could have been his chance. But I think Arbeloa, thankfully, he has made his debut in time to at least have some match time in before getting lobbed in. I want to see him at left back. I want to see Nordwhite at right back, because I think he gives us the best defensive capabilities out of everyone who can play there, and Reading Ogbonna at centre backs. And
just a one-word answer: who would you like to see in goal?
Adrian.
Gonzo, what's your goalkeeper and your back 4 ideally for Sunday against Southampton?
Goalkeeper Randolph. I would play Arbeloa. On the right, keep him in position. I play Reed. I play Oxford, and I'd play Ogbonna on the left, who obviously plays that position for Italy sometimes.
It's just a pity that we don't have Reece Burke still with us, because he actually looked good left back in the Europa League qualifiers. So this would have been his chance to shine. But I would probably pick the exact same back 5 actually as Gonzo on that one. Randall, Arbeloa right back, Reed and Oxford in the middle with Ogbonna at left back. Keep it tight and just no frills going forward from our defence. Just please, just keep a clean sheet. Now moving into midfield, Charlie, this for me is the the biggest debate, not necessarily the attacking midfielders, but the centre midfielders. Czech, and Mark Noble were rested against Accrington Stanley. It looks like they'll start on Sunday, but who would you like to see start?
I would prefer to see Obiang and Noble start. I think that Czech has gone missing all the entire season. I don't think I've seen him, apart from the goal he scored for obviously, I think he's gone completely missing. So I would prefer to see Noble and Obiang.
Gonzo, same question.
I'm going to actually go with Noble and Kiate, only because it was my initial intention to play Oxford in front of the back four, because I think it needed stiffening up. I can only assume that Oxford's omission from Accrington Stanley is because he's going to play at the weekend. If not, then I think that's it. I do think he's gone. If someone's stalled in on a contract, you've got to give them some way into the first team. I think, bearing in mind how poorly we've been playing, if he can't get in against Accrington Stanley when we're in that sort of form, then it's either bad news or because he's being rested for the Sunday. I would have played him to shield the back four. We can't because of the injury to Masuaku. So I'm going to go with Noble and Kiate, with strict instructions on one of them to sit and to hold and to be disciplined.
I would like to see Nordveit in front of our back four. Actually, I was away to say between Noble and Kiate, I can't decide, but actually I'm going to do a curveball and change my early answer. I would actually like to see Oxford next to Nordveit. If we check Kiate in centre defence, where he actually used to play before he tried to get turned into defensive midfielder. He impressed me at centre back for West Ham. Didn't do anything wrong at all. So I would actually like to see him at the back with Reid and play Oxford alongside Nordveit and leave Noble out. I'm a big Noble fan, but he's just not impressing recently. Yeah, Charlie or Gonzo, well, Charlie, come to you first. Would your attacking three be Antonio, Lanzini and Payet? Because if it is, there's no point in discussing it. Is that your attacking three, or would you debate what to do with Faguli?
That would be my attacking three. I don't want two up top, and I don't want Antonio up top. So yes, that would be my attacking three.
Now, I think if either of us is going to fancy Antonio up front, it's going to be the next man. Gonzo, would you keep Antonio right wing, or are you chucking a curveball?
No curveball. Faguli hasn't done enough to warrant ousting Antonio from his place. Although I can understand why someone might want Antonio up top. Something needs to be done up top, but that's obviously going to be the next question. So yeah, I'll keep those three in midfield.
Yeah. That's why I skipped that question basically, because let's talk about strikers. I don't want to see Antonio up front, because he scores goals by late runs. If you put him up front, he can no longer do late runs and takes away which is effectively his best weapon. Charlie, who do you want to see up front? You've got one striker left. Who is it going to be? We've now played 9 competitive games. No striker has scored a goal for West Ham this season. Who are you playing up front?
I would go with Martinez. I want all the strikers. I don't think the strikers have been given anywhere near enough service to get goals. I think that's been a consistent problem in our team. It's going to persist to be a problem. I would put Martinez in there just because I think he deserves the shot. He's been scoring for fun in the youth teams. I would give him that. If he's not an option, because I don't think Slav again will play a youth player, I would put Zaza up front. But for me, I would play Martinez up top.
I think I know what Gonzo's going to say, and I think it's the same striker as I. But Gonzo, your striker, please.
Well, actually, no, I was nodding away when Charlie was speaking. I think for all the reasons that Charlie said, I would give Martinez a go. My second choice wouldn't be Zaza. My second choice would be Fletcher. I think it's quite close between Martinez and Fletcher. I wouldn't be surprised if he does play Fletcher. Be a sensible decision.
I would go with Fletcher as well. I've defended Zaza, and I still am. I'm not saying he's rubbish, but what I'm saying is, if you can't score against Accrington Stanley, I'm not very confident I'm putting him in against Southampton. I think we need someone that's up for it. Now, we've talked about the team lineup, and there's a few there that we all agree on. Let us know what your thoughts are at home below in the YouTube comments, or come on to our forum at hammerschat.com. But this fixture last season, just so you know, fun fact, this fixture last season is when Antonio scored his first goal for West Ham United in a 2-1 win when we came behind from 1-0. And in the last 3 seasons, when West Ham played Southampton, one of the teams have come from behind to go on and win the game at least once in that season. Charlie, how important is this game? We've lost 4 from 5 in the league. Just how big is the one against Southampton?
I think it's huge. I think we needed the win against. I was desperate for us to get the win last time out. We didn't manage it. Accrington Stanley. I was hoping for a convincing win that we could build on. It obviously wasn't that. I think this is absolutely huge. I think if we can stamp out Southampton seemingly starting to gather their form again, if we can stamp that out and get a victory, it's going to be absolutely monumentous for our campaign. I think it's the most important game we've had so far.
Gonzo, would you take a draw?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll take it now.
Would you? You don't think that just 4 points from our first 6 games, you don't think a draw would start to cramp the pressure up even more so, or do you think it would get the fans off their back?
I don't think a draw would get the fans off the back. No, I just think at the moment Southampton are better than us. I think we've got real problems. I think it's small steps, baby steps. And the first step is to shore up that defence and to stop us shipping a load of goals. Now, we've made the first step against Accrington Stanley to get us into the next round, which we've obviously drawn Chelsea, which is another video show altogether. But I think small steps, we need to shore up the defence. So with that in mind, that we're facing, as you say, a striker in form and a team that are playing better than us, I'd be really, really happy with a low-scoring draw.
I think it's a must-win, because the longer we go without winning, the more agitated everyone gets, the more pressure comes on, and we've got a break coming up after we play Middlesbrough. There's a break, and I just do not want to go into that break without at least one more win on the board. That would be a very horrible, long time to wait until we play Crystal Palace. Charlie, I don't know how you can be, but are you confident?
I'm confident with score, if that helps at all. Am I confident of the win? I have zero. I think it would. I have literally no idea. It all depends on what defenders decide to turn up on the day. Masuaku, will we see another West Brom, or will we see a performance he had before when he seemed to be a decent defender? I have literally zero clue. I'm confident with score though. I'll give him that much.
So, okay, we'll get a prediction for your score in a minute. Gonzo, are you confident? Charlie doesn't seem that confident, despite not saying anything negative.
I'm as low on confidence as I've been in a long time, in all honesty. So, and that's just us, just sat around. We go to games, we watch some, and we make videos. So if I'm lacking confidence, what about the players?
Do you think that could be a good thing, though, Gonzo? Because so far this season, every game, we've had a lot of confidence. Even when we went to Man City, we were still confident that we could get something. While we weren't expecting anything, we were confident we could upset it. Even against West Brom, we all sat around going, it's all right, we're going to beat West Brom. We're better than them, they're rubbish. So do you think maybe the fans having zero confidence could actually not necessarily take the pressure off the players, but do you think it's just a bit of a different scenario at all?
No, I don't think it make any difference at all if the fans are confident or they're not confident. What we're not going to be is we're not going to be so confident that we're going to go there buzzing. That stadium is not going to be buzzing against Southampton. It won't. There's a nervousness to the West Ham fans, whether we're confident or whether we're not confident. There's a nervousness to them, and I don't think it has any correlation because of where we are and because of the size of the stadium with how that transmits to the players. I think what is important is how confident the players are. So I would hope that the players are confident. I would hope that their training that they do throughout the week on a defensive strategy and defensive setup makes them confident. They have confidence in the system. If they can keep a clean sheet, and I'm sure the team will be confident with people like Payet and Antonio in the team that we can score a goal. That's where the confidence comes in.
Well, before I put these guys on the line and ask them for a score prediction, as well as yourself at home, want yours as well. There's no escaping. Gonzo, what's the latest with the travel news? That's quite important.
Well, this is really, really important, because if you thought it was congested getting away from the London Stadium so far, you ain't seen nothing yet. Crossrail is being built, and some of you are going to switch off. But basically, if you're coming from the east, then you're going to be affected. So if you're a Network Rail, or I think it's called Abellio, I'm going to post a link. You need to check it out, because if you're traveling, there's going to be closures because Crossrail's being built. The lines between Stratford and Shenfield are affected. The Southend Victoria line, the Ipswich line, the Norwich line, the Braintree line, the Southminster line. There's a lot of affected. They're being closed down, a lot of them, because of Crossrail is being built. What that means in plain English is that a lot of the trains are going to be ceased, are going to be cancelled. There'll be replacement bus services. It's going to put a huge strain on the central line. For parts of it, the central line, people are going to be getting the central line out of Stratford, and if you're heading that way, maybe live in Romford, those sort of areas, then it's going to be stopping the central line at Newbury Park. There's going to be a replacement bus service. You need to check it out. You need to find out what's relevant to you. I'll post the links, but this is going to go on for a long time. This is not going to clear itself up. So just don't get there and get surprised. Leave yourself lots and lots of extra time. There's no one else has been giving these announcements out either. So not seeing anything from the club or any official outlets, but that's what's going to happen. And thank you for Tone on the website for pointing it out and making sure that we told everybody.
Well, lots of lines in trouble on Sunday. Hopefully the West Ham defensive one isn't one of those lines. Charlie, you're smiling there at my wee joke. Thank you very much. What's your score prediction?
You're welcome. I really hope that we can keep. I think a clean sheet is possibly the most important thing we could do. I think that will do wonders for us. So I'm going to say 1-1, and it's going to be Antonio header play at cross.
Just to help your case, Charlie, the last 5 times Southampton have played us at our place, there's been 3 draws and we've won 1 game apiece. Gonzo, what's your score prediction?
Yeah, he's stolen my thunder there. I agree with Charlie again for the second time this evening. 1-1, and that's being optimistic.
I'm going to be optimistic as well and go for 2-2. It was our favourite scoreline last season, and I can't see how we're going to keep Southampton to scoring just 1 goal. They've got too much talent, but saying that, so have we. And I think it's going to be a case of who scores the most gets the points rather than who concedes the less, which could maybe Sam Addy's kind of style. But let us know what you think. Give us your score prediction, the team lineup you want to see. Let us know. Comment in below on the YouTube. Come on to our forum and make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to our channel here. We're coming up to 3,000. Be a joy to hit it. And like we said, we've got loads of competitions. One huge one. But the competition winners earlier, get in touch. We'll get the book sent out to you, and you're in for a treat. But that's been Charlie. That's been Gonzo. I've been Gio. We'll be back a couple of hours after Sunday with a review live from roughly somewhere around the stadium, probably on our boats. Thank you for joining us.